Hey guys, it's Kip here from KDC Marketing, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can use repeaters and Wix CMS and a few other things absolutely from scratch. So we're going to start from scratch, we're going to build it using Wix CMS, and I'll show you how to create some really cool dynamic content on your Wix Studio website. So you can see that right here I'm in the Wix Studio editor. I have a blank canvas, nothing has been done so far. So we're going to go ahead and build out our CMS. And if you're new to CMS, it's over here on the left hand side. It stands for the Content Management System, and it allows you to create dynamic content on your Wix Studio website. And it's a super powerful feature if you know how to use it correctly, and it will save you a ton of time once you get it set up. So all you have to do to enable it is to go over here on the left hand side, click this button, and then click Add to Site, and it will start loading. And it's going to create the necessary setup for us to create dynamic content on our website. So the way CMS works is you have collections which act like databases for your content. And so I'm going to go ahead and create a collection here, and I'm going to start from scratch because the whole point of this video is to do this from scratch so you can see how to do it step by step. So I'm going to click Next, and then I'm going to create some kind of hotel type of listings. So I'm going to just put in hotel listings here, and I'm going to do multiple items, and then I'm going to click Create. So this is going to create my collection, and then I go in and I add the fields that I want for my listing. So I'm just going to change this field here to instead of to title, I'm just going to do hotel name, and then we're going to add some new fields to our collection. So it will kind of look like a spreadsheet here in a second. This is the table view, and so we'll start building out our database here. So the next thing I want is I want a description. So I'm just going to do short description here, and then I want to have a price. So I'm actually going to use this as a text because I want the money sign to show up. If I use number, I won't be able to use that. So I'm going to select price right here, and then I'm going to do the full description or long description as a text field. So I'm just adding in the different fields I want in my collection here, and there are so many options to choose from. If you click into here, you can see there are the essentials, there's media type fields for images and media gallery, there's time and location, and you can even use code if you know how to use it. So I'm actually going to add an image. I forgot I need that. So I'm going to do a listing image, and I'm going to save this. So now I've got my fields here. So I have my hotel name, my listing image, short description, and price. And so I'm going to go in and start adding my items. So I have to click Add Item, and now I can go in and add content for each of these different fields. So for my first one, I'm going to do Cave Suite, and then I'm going to go get my image. I'm just going to pull media from Wix here. So my Cave Suite will be one of these images right here. So I've got my image, and then I'm going to add a new item, and this will be my outdoor suite, we'll call it. And we're going to go back and add another image, media from Wix. So here we have the pool lounge. So maybe I should call this the pool lounge suite. And then we're going to do one more for now. And so I'm going to add another image here, media from Wix, and we're going to go down and do the couple view image right here, the desert view. So I'll call this one the desert view suite. And then for the short description, I'll enter something here, and the price I'm going to enter $10,000 per night. So these are luxury type of hotels, and they are not cheap. So we're going to go in and add the prices into here, and I'm just typing these in. You could also just copy and paste these in. It kind of works like a spreadsheet here. And then I'll add the long description and short description. So we'll do something here like stay in the Cave of Wonders, or stay in a beautiful cave. just something really short, relax in the pool, and then we'll do see the breathtaking views of the desert. So this could be whatever content you want, and I'm doing hotel listings, but you could do whatever type of listing you want to do. Okay, so we've got our basic information here, and we'll come back to this section in a second. So now I'm going to go build out a section on the website and then connect these fields to that section. So I'm going to go to my Wix Studio editor. So I was over in the CMS, now I'm back in the editor. I'm going to add some elements, and I'm going to add a repeater because I want to show my hotel listings, and I'm going to make it a list. And then I'm going to do some formatting here. I'm going to add some padding to my section so that I can stretch my repeater here with this stretch button to fill out this section. So I'm starting to build out my repeater, which is just an element that repeats items. So you just have to design it once, and then the other items will follow suit. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to space out my repeater. I want 24 pixels in between each item, and then I'm actually going to apply the CSS grid. Now this is a bit more advanced, but what it allows me to do is add columns or rows to my repeater items. And so I'm just going to add columns right now for this layout here. So I added 3 columns to my layout, so you can kind of see that with these lines here. And if I click into each item, all of them have that column layout. So now I'm going to build the rest of my section here. So I want an image, I want a stack in here. I'm just going to kind of do this quickly to get the section that I want, and I'm going to make sure that my pixel width here is 20. That's a little too far, so I'm going to go with down to 12, and that's looking better. And then I'm going to duplicate this now that I've got that how I want. And this is a stack, so these elements are grouped together in a stack that we have a heading, a paragraph, and a button element. And so all I'm doing is I'm adding them to each column here in my CSS grid. So you can see that location of the stack is in the middle. Same with this one, it's on the far right, and then my image on the far left. And then I'm going to align it to the center of my grid cell. So now I have my repeater that has items, and then within each item there's the CSS grid. Now the next thing I need to do is connect these elements, each of these elements, to my content management system, my CMS data, my collection. So the way that I do that is by this little connector icon right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, and this will allow me to show dynamic content on this element. So that's how you start connecting your data to different elements in the editor. So I'm going to add a data set here, which is another way of saying my collection. And if I do the drop down, you can see the hotel listings are there. If I had multiple collections, which it's totally possible to have multiple collections, you would see all the collections listed here. So I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to just keep it hotel listings data set right now, but you could change this if you wanted to. You could also add homepage or something, whatever you want to add to that. So I'm going to create this, and now I can access the fields in my data set. So I've got the image is not connected, text not connected, etc. So the image I'm going to connect to my listing image field, and as I do this, you can see these are the different fields that I have in my collection. So if it's there, it'll show up here, and because this is an image element, the only one that is possible for me to connect is the image field in my data set. So as soon as I connect that, look how cool this is. It automatically populated all the images here. And then I'm going to add in the name for my hotel right here. So hotel name. And now that I have a text element selected, you can see that these other options are now available. So I'm going to use hotel name, and again, that updated dynamically, automatically. I'm going to add this one to the short description, and again, it's updating and matching the item that we have here. And then if you remember, I also had pricing info. So I'm not going to connect this heading to anything in the data set because it doesn't need to be. It's just a placeholder that's the same across the board. And you can see as I type that in, since this is a repeater, all of the items now have that pricing info. I am going to connect this paragraph element here to the pricing. So now I have pricing info. And I'm going to remove this button because I only want one button here, and it's going to be something that says learn more. And as I change this, all the items will change here. And eventually we're going to connect this button to the dynamic page that we'll create. Right now this is just a home page, but we'll create that. So now I have my nice little hotel listing here with my image. It's got the name, it's got a short description, has my pricing info, and all of this information is going to be updated dynamically. So let me show you what that means. So if I go in and change this back here in my CMS to 3,000 per night and hit enter, all changes saved. When I come back to the front end, 3,000 per night. And that works the same for the editor as well as the live website. Once this is published, it would update dynamically for a live website as well. So super cool, super powerful stuff once you start using CMS, because it allows you to manage your content dynamically instead of having to go in and change things item by item. You can do it here from your database. So another cool thing is, since I have this connected to a repeater, if I add another item, let's just call it balcony suite, and then I add an image and I fill out this field here. Let's say that this balcony suite is the one right here. Maybe let's do this one here, the elegant outdoor. And let's say enjoy the outdoors with a beautiful balcony suite. And this one's going to be our cheapest option at $2,000 per night. Okay, and if I come back to my page here, here is the balcony suite. So I didn't have to do anything on the front end. Once I got this set up, it will update dynamically. Same exact parameters exist for this item, and now I have the balcony suite and the pricing info, $2,000 per night. So the cool thing with repeaters is it will show the items that you list dynamically. So if I create more items, more will populate here. So I didn't show you this yet, but I'll show you this now because I think it's starting to become relevant. Is you can also turn on some other settings inside of your collection. So if we go to the collection settings, you can control the item visibility, and you can set the default status for new items to either visible or hidden. So what this means is when you create a new item, the default status will either show or hide. So I'm going to actually do hidden because I don't want it to show unless I have all the information entered in there, and then I want to select, hey, show this item now that it's ready. So once I click save, you're going to see a change in my table. Now I have the status field over here, so I can decide if I want this item to be visible or hidden. So all I have to do if I want to hide it is I can go in and click hidden, or you can even schedule, which is really cool if you want to schedule something to go live. But as soon as I hide the item, you can see that dynamically it doesn't show up here anymore. So if I want it to show again, I just have to go into my collections and make it visible. So super, super cool. And then as I add a new item, because I have it set to hidden, the default status, it'll start here so I can enter in the information. So let's just do another outdoor suite here so you can see what that would look like. So we'll just find another image of a hotel room that we can use, maybe something like this. And we will say, enjoy the sun, outdoors. And again, I'm just making all of this up so you could have real data in here, and we'll say that this one costs $4,000 per night. And right now, since it's selected, the status is selected as hidden, it's not going to show until I change that status. So we still have balcony suite, we still have desert view suite, we still have the pool lounge and the cave suite. Now if I go into my database and turn on that item, it'll show up too. So this is why it's really great to use CMS, because once you get this set up to manage these items, you can show items, hide items, you can change information in the items, and as we'll see in a second, sometimes you have these data sets in multiple places in your website, and all you have to do is update them one time and they'll show up in multiple places. And one thing I want to highlight again that we did here was we used the repeater and the CSS grid to kind of create this 3-column layout within our repeater. So that can make your repeaters even more powerful, make it easier to lay out your repeater items so that you can create these sections, these listings fairly easily. And then if you customize one thing, it'll customize all of them. So if I change this button color here, it's going to change all of them. So that's why repeaters are so valuable, because you only have to do it once. And that pops a little more now with the blue than the black. I'm going to change it back to the black, but just to show you that you can customize one thing and it's going to change all the elements. Okay, so now we're going to link up our items in our database to actual pages. We're going to create dynamic pages. So I'm going to add a new page here, and I'm going to, so it's over here on the left hand side, there's this pages section. I'm going to add a new page, and you can see now that we have CMS enabled, there's this new dynamic page type. So you can add a standard blank page or you can add a dynamic page type. I'm going to go ahead and add one of these dynamic pages. And there's 4 preset pages you can choose from. It can be blank, it can be an item page, a list page, or a manage item page. So for what we're going to do for this video, we're just going to do an item page, and I'm going to add it to the site. And I have my hotel listings, but if you had other collections here, you could choose between your collections. So I'm going to click add to site, and it's going to create these pages for me. And the nice thing is this template comes with some things already done for you. So you have the balcony suite, the short description, the image. So they've kind of already given you a designed template. You don't have to follow this if you don't want to. This one is connected to the long description, and the reason this has placeholder text is because the long description in my database is empty. I haven't put any information. So let's go to the balcony suite and put something in and see what happens. So we're going to go here to the balcony suite. In the long description, we're going to say, come stay in a luxurious, if I can spell, balcony suite, and enjoy the fresh air of nature. Okay, so this is really cheesy, but just something to show an example. So once I do that, my long description will update here, and I can make this description even longer, right? It's about the same as my short description, but I can make it longer and detail what you get when you stay. One element that's not shown here is the price. So you can see I have my suite, my short description. If I wanted to add the price, one quick way to do that, I'm just going to duplicate this element inside of my stack. So I just clicked on this element and duplicated it, and now I'm just going to change what this element is connected to. So it's going to now connect to price instead of connecting to the short description. That's a pretty quick way to change or add the element there to this page. And then if I want to cycle through and see what other pages look like hey, what does the cave suite look like? That looks pretty good, and then I would need to add in my long description. Now one thing that comes default with these pages, and again you can choose to use these or not, is these buttons are click actions. So they can take you to the previous dynamic page or the next dynamic page. So all that means is if you wanted to click on this, it would cycle you through to the next item. So if you want those, great. If not, you don't have to have them, you can delete them. We're going to talk about click actions here in just a second. But you can see here that on some of these, this one is still showing placeholder text because in my database it's empty. So I would need to go in and add a long description for each of these items. So let's go ahead and talk about click actions for a second by going back to our home page. So let me go to our, let's see, where are our pages here? There it is. I couldn't find it there for a second, to our home page. So I have this Learn More button, and right now this Learn More button does nothing. So if we preview this, you hover over it and it looks clickable, but nothing actually happens. So what I want to have happen is I want this button to take me to the specific item, the listing. And so if I click on the button, and again I'm in my connector icon, I want to set the click action. And now that I have this dynamic page, this hotel listings item, if I click this, then the click action will take them to the specific item page in the current window. And then I can also, I really like to do this with all my repeaters most of the time, I can also have the image have a click action. So it has the image source. You can also set the alt text, which is good for SEO. So maybe I want to put the hotel name in there, and that'll flow in dynamically. But then the link of the image can connect to the hotel listings item as well. So now if they click on the image, it's going to take them to the listing page. So if I preview this now, and if I were to click on one of these, like let's click on the image, it should take me to the outdoor suite. And sure enough, it does. So let me go back to my home page here. If I click on the Learn More button, let's try another one, Desert View Suite. It takes me in to the Desert View Suite page. So click actions are really important for buttons or images or something where you want an action to happen dynamically. You can set up some of those things using click actions. So we have our pages now, and I'm going to show you how cool it is that once we change something in our CMS, how it changes across the board. Again, just to highlight the value of why you would use this. So let's take our Desert View Suite here. Let's add a long description. Come enjoy the desert in a unique experience like no other. So we have a description in here now, but I'm going to change the price. So let's say that for the weekend we want to discount it, and it's only $2,500 per night. So the cool thing is since I've updated that in my my database, it shows up here on the page, but if I go to the home page, it's going to show up there as well, $2,500 per night. So if you have these data sets in multiple places on your website, like a home page, and then you have item pages, and then you have them listed in other places, you only have to make the update once, and it's going to update dynamically across multiple pages. So this is really great for listing websites, things like real estate listings or hotel listings, or it could be any type of listing you want to build. These can be really a really powerful way to do it because you can manage it all through your collection. And sometimes there are websites that have lots of fields, right? This is a pretty simple one. We only have about 5 fields, but maybe we want to add a media gallery to our hotel rooms where they can look at multiple images. And so we could add that to each of our pages here. So that could be a field that we could add. And so we could add multiple, and I could just show you what this might look like here. So if we go into the media from Wix, let's say that this is an image of one room, and this is another, and this is inside, and we could just do some other fun things inside the hotel listing. So maybe there's a chair like this, maybe there's a nice sofa. Let's see if I can find, a lounge chair and a bathroom. And let's just add a few other images and see what we get. So when I click add to item, these images all pull in here, and so we could theoretically create a more robust listing. So let's go to the outdoor suite item page now, and let's add a gallery to that. So we have this all as one section. I'm going to add a new section here. I'm actually going to delete these click actions. I'm going to add a new section. I'm just going to add a media gallery to this. So I'm going to go back to my design panel, add some padding to my section here, and then add a media gallery. So I'm going to add gallery, and then it's going to add this Wix Pro gallery here, and then I'm going to stretch this, and I'm going to connect this to my hotel listings data set, and I'm going to connect it to my media gallery. And so I need to be on the right one. I think we did it on the outdoor suite, but we should see the images flow in. So now, since this one has images, you can start to click through these and look at the outdoor suite. And pretty cool to be able to add multiple elements here on these pages. And these pages can be, you can add so many things to these pages. You can add media galleries and images and videos and text, and there's even a rich content field where you can add kind of different content for different pages. So these can be really cool and robust, and they can all be managed here through your collections in your database. So we could add more images here, or if we wanted to add new images to this, if we wanted to add more over time, we could do that. And once we did added the images, it would show up dynamically on the website. So I just want to highlight a couple things with this video, that the CMS is really cool. It's really powerful, and it's worth learning because it can save you a lot of time, especially if you have content that's going to be in multiple places, or if you have listings like I mentioned before. I've seen it used for testimonials a lot. If you have a lot of testimonials and you continue to add to them, that can be a great use case for it. And it's just an awesome feature set that every person who uses Wix Studio should know, at least know that it's available to them. So one last thing I want to show here is once you have your repeater set up, there is this dataset settings. So if you click on this, then you can decide how many items per load. So let's say we did have a lot of listings here. We were a real estate listing company and we had thousands of real estate listings. We only might want to show 100 at first, and then have more show up later through a load more button or something like that. So you can configure that here. You can also add filters. So if you only want to show certain types of items, like maybe we want to only show items that have a price of $5,000 or higher here on the homepage. So you can add filters to that. There's also this dataset mode. We won't cover this in this video, but it's tied to if you're using CMS to display information or to collect information. So there's, read and write or write. So we don't really need to worry about that for this video. But I just want to show you that you can set how many items load, and you can filter the items for your data set. And you can have multiple data sets on a page. This one only has one, but if you had, and it shows what elements it's connected to. You could, maybe you have hotel listings, maybe you have a testimonials data set, maybe you have real estate agents data set. So you can have multiple data sets on one page, but then you can also have dynamic pages like we have here with the hotel listings item. And so every time we create a new item in our CMS, here every time we add one and then make it visible, oops, I'm creating a new one, I meant to go to my hotel listings, then it will show up here on the home page, and it will show up on the item list page as soon as I get the data filled out. And then if I ever need to hide them, I can do that with the hidden or visible, etc. And then one more thing to recap is just that repeater CSS grid. That's so important. If you want to use repeaters and CMS, it's powerful. If you want to make the layouts even better, then you can use the repeaters, CSS grid, and CMS to create really cool layouts like this even faster. Now, one thing we didn't go over is mobile, getting these to look right on mobile. Most of the time, the responsive AI will fix that. If you go to the section and click this responsive AI, it'll generate a responsive section based on what you've put in. It doesn't always get it right the first time, so sometimes you have to go in and configure it, and let's just see how good it does here. I would say about 50% of the time I have to go in and edit it. So it does require you to go in and check it on every device. But let's just see how it does, and then we could customize it from there. So let's just say we apply the design changes, and it did pretty good. One thing I might change is I might center these items here so that they're centered versus to the left. But see, I only had to do that once, and now the items are looking fairly good. I also might want to give some more space in my repeater here. They're only 7 pixels apart. I don't think that's enough space, so I like the 24. But I like the padding that was, it doesn't look like any, no, there's no padding, but I think we should put some on here. So you can go in and fix this a little bit. Maybe you want 3%, and then we could make sure our repeater stretch to fill the grid, so then our section could have more percent here, maybe 6%, maybe even 10%. So you can get this to look how you want it to on mobile, but it is important to check it because it's going to be different based on each device. And then we want to check this too, so you can see that it did okay. It's missing the description here on the outdoor suite. Let's see. So you just want to check these and make sure that they're gonna work for you. All right, well, I hope you found this video helpful. I really tried to build something here from scratch just so you can see the exact process, and you don't have to follow any of these layouts. Like, you can create custom pages for each of these items. You can create one custom page and then all of them have the same layout. That's what I meant. You don't have to use the default template that Wix uses for the item page. You can make your own. But it becomes really powerful when you do CMS, repeaters, and the advanced CSS grid to just create dynamic content, and then you can manage it all from here, your database in the editor, or you can manage it from your database on the back end. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next video.